And we aren't the non-prophets. I'm not Dennis. Wait, no, I am Denis Loubet, along with Megan Bonner, Ciera Ramirez, and Jamie Boone. And we're coming to you, we are coming to you live from the Free Thought Library in Austin, Texas on the 18th of July, 2018. This show is is always sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization for the promotion of positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you want to learn more about the ACA, you can call their voicemail at 512-220-6561 or visit their website at www.atheist-community.org. The Non-Prophets never broadcast live every first and third Wednesday of each month from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. You can't join the Non-Prophets chat room by following the directions at www.nonprofitsradio.com. So don't sit back or enjoy the show.
Well, after that introduction, I guess I shouldn't, or wait, should... is it my turn to not?
That was in honor of our glorious leader.
I see.
Walking back things he says.
Things he wouldn't say?
Or yes.
Didn't.
Or wasn't sure if he said them?
I thought, no, he meant the other thing.
Right, the exact opposite. Yeah.
He meant the opposite of the thing that you object to. It's okay now.
Right.
It all makes sense now.
Boom.
Somehow.
Deep state.
Alternate universe?
The hand of God.
Wow.
God.
Narnia?
Soccer fans everywhere just went crazy. How you guys doing today?
Woo!
It's Wednesday.
Doing good?
It is
Wednesday.
I thought it was Tuesday. I thought it was Tuesday for most of the day. And so when I realized that it was Wednesday, I got really excited. I'm like, yes, just 2 more days left of...
Well, we're glad you could guest with us here, Ciera. You've been on the Non-Prophets before.
Yes. One other time. I think it was maybe in April, possibly. I think that's when I was...
What? You don't know the exact date? Get out. You're fired. No, and Megan, you've never been on any ACA thing before, just now.
I know.
So welcome to your first or something? Or your first show?
Do I get champagne for popping my ACA show cherry?
Ooh.
We can get champagne after the show.
We can pop a bottle for your popped ACA cherry.
Or we can pop the trunk of my car and get into the liquor that I didn't take out.
I'm down
Well,
for that
this
too.
show just, wow.
Don't worry.
Dennis, what's happening to the show?
There's millions of people listening to you. And if you don't say exactly the right thing, you'll be hated forever.
Oh, no.
No pressure.
No pressure, but don't fuck it up.
I'm good with infamy.
So, Dennis, what do we want to do for our first segment? I think I'll take
gosh.
the first news one.
Yeah, news, please.
All right. So, for our first news segment, have you heard the God news? Not yet, because I haven't told you. All right. I love the animations. It was released to the press that there's leaked video from a Jehovah's Witness summit, I forget what they call them, meeting, where their head of records management said effectively, make sure you don't keep any records because the Satan is coming after us. He's going to use the law, and we could be in trouble with the law for keeping records of child abuse. Isn't it always child abuse?
Oh.
So, yeah... Sorry. Jehovah's Witnesses official delivered an urgent message to a group of elders at a 2017 seminar in Britain. The time had come to rethink the record-keeping policies of the organization, which has come under fire for its handling of child sex abuse complaints, which, just as my editorializing, is understandable because they have like a 2-witness rule and all of this crap.
Oh, boy.
Enforce. Yeah, because, you know, when someone is going to abuse a child, they always make sure there's witnesses around.
Yeah.
Did they not learn from the Catholics? I mean, should they have learned this lesson, like, before?
I don't know. I think
why can't they just move that pastor to another church? That's what the Catholics do, right?
Right.
Like that little black book, it's not digital anywhere, but it's a little black book that, you know.
Yeah. No records. Mostly. Just don't. I mean, I don't know why everyone keeps records all the time if you're going to break the law. fools. But it's Sean Bartlett, the witness's record management overseer, nerd, explained that handwritten notes and drafts of internal documents needed to be destroyed because of the potential legal harm they posed to the organization, which has 8 million followers worldwide and more than a dozen congregations. This is
They're not
from
congregations, they are kingdom halls.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dozen kingdom halls in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia area. I'm reading the news story that's in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
I'm sorry. I was a hostess when I was 16, and my friend from the Jehovah Witness Kingdom Hall came with his group, and I said, "Oh, did you all just get out of church?" And one of the ladies hit me with her menu and said, "We do not attend church. We attend Kingdom Hall." I was like,
Oh, well.
excuse me.
And you were like, "You better fucking tip," was your response after that crap. Oh my God. So to the article, the question is, why has this come up? Bartlett said, according to a video recording of the seminar that was leaked online earlier this year. Well, we know that the scene of this world is changing, and we know Satan's coming after us, and he's going to go for us legally.
Damn lawyers.
I know, that pesky law thing.
Right.
So Satan is the only one that seems like that's trying to do the moral thing here by coming
Immoral.
after.
He's attacking the kingdom halls. I almost said the church.
Well, Satan's the only one with lawyers, apparently. So.
Well, I mean, there's a dozen lawyer jokes that back
Yeah.
that claim up.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It just goes on like that. But at a certain point, when your God is telling you you have to shirk society, at a certain point you have to, presumably someone.
Wait, who did God tell specifically?
Oh, no, it's the, what is it? Witnesses Record Management Overseer. So he's the overseer of the management of the records. Is the way that goes.
Hey.
No, he's the assistant.
Well, they do like their hierarchy, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I never thought that I would laugh at, I don't know. Bureaucracy in churches is weird.
Yes.
It is. But it oddly makes sense.
Yeah?
Really? Because
Kinda,
the tedium,
I guess.
like
Well, I mean-
how, like you're supposed to worship God, right? And you're supposed to jump through all of the fucking hoops to worship God. So why not do that for government
Organization, yeah.
or organization? Yeah.
Oh, you want to pray? Fill out Form 22B-C3, whatever. I don't know how
In
bureaucracies
triplicate, yeah.
label their forms. I don't know. Did you know anyone actually know Jehovah's Witnesses growing up or whatever?
I did. I grew up in Roswell. I had a Jehovah Witness friend, and she introduced herself to the class because she was a new student. And she said, "I am Jody, and I am a Jehovah's Witness, which means I don't celebrate any holidays." That was the first thing that she said in her introduction. I also have family members who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and my Spanish teacher is not, but he was Catholic, and then he became a Jehovah's Witness, and actually that's how he learned English. But then he ended up getting married, and it didn't work out, and then he got divorced, and then they excommunicated him.
A
I
disfellowship.
heard
Wow.
that happens. Well, no, it depends on what sect you're in.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is my
Maybe it
ignorance
is
of-
disfellowship, though, or
Well,
disfellowship.
It depends on what sect he's in. I guess I should have
You're
realized
thinking
that.
Mormon, right?
I don't know. I think Mormons just
Disfellowship.
ignore you, de-Mormonize you. They don't smile directly at you.
They take the magic underwear away, and you are no longer allowed to come back.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't know any details about different sects of Jehovah's Witness, or whatever the plural is. Nor did I know that you were an expert, apparently. Are there...
Oh, no, I just know about the interesting things, the magic underwear mostly.
But that's, you mean of... sorry,
Oh, no, of
that's Mormons.
Mormons, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Mormon
J-Dubs,
underwear.
they've knocked on my door a few times, and I've sent them away with water.
Yeah.
That's nice of you. At least you gave him water.
I told them not to waste their time.
Well, that was very polite of you. Very considerate. So does that mean that you want to take the next segment?
Sure. So, if anyone has heard, Alex Jones predicted.
Oh boy.
I know, right? He's on the money every single
Every time.
He predicted the second U.S. Civil War. And of course, that did not happen as we are all sitting
What
here.
are you talking about?
I mean, if there was going to be a second Civil War, we are currently in Austin, Texas, surrounded by, we're like the blueberry on the cherry tree.
Yeah.
One would assume we would have felt some type of heat
Clash.
from this, Civil War. But as the internets are wont to do, took to this theory
Yeah.
and had some fun with it. So there are now the second Civil War letters going around all the social medias.
Nice.
And they are great. Let's see here. Here's one. Dearest Amy, we have discovered their Wi-Fi password. It was password.
Dope.
We're
Is that the rights password? Because it seems like they would come up with a password like that.
It says we're now blocking access to Pornhub, Lyft, Uber, League of Legends, Grubhub, and Twitter. Their howls among the their howls among the dimming tiki torches warm our spirits.
So no Grubhub and no Pornhub. The two things I like to hub are not going to be
right?
available.
I mean, what's left in life if you don't have the porn or the food?
Gotta have that hub.
You gotta have the hub of some kind.
I know.
And both hubs are great.
I mean, that means I actually have to leave my place and maybe go to some strip club or something.
Bum, bum, bum. Patronizing a local business.
But there's a bunch of others if you wanted to hear a couple more.
Yeah.
There's it's day 2 of the hashtag Second Civil War. My comrades and I have set up a camp in a library. There's absolutely no chance they will find us here.
Ha.
Nice.
It just goes on like that. They're just pretty witty. I would recommend checking them out just for a laugh, if nothing else.
Hashtag. Yeah. Hey. Ciera, you got the next one lined up?
Sure. Okay, so I am pulling up a article written by Matt Walsh. If you don't know who Matt Walsh is, he is the hipster Catholic whose claim to fame is telling you everything you can and should not do. Anyway.
Every Catholic.
Every Catholic.
Isn't that just the church? Yeah.
Every Catholic.
Eesh.
Okay. His article is, our daughters are not, quote unquote, empowered by vulgar, idiotic pop music. I would agree about the pop music part and maybe the idiotic part. The vulgarity, I feel like vulgarity has really taught me a thing.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Ariana Grande, she of donut licking fame, has caused new waves in pop culture with her new song and video titled God is a Woman.
Wait. Of donut licking fame?
let's go back.
So,
Yeah.
Am I really this ignorant?
We need a link.
Culture?
Wait,
there is a link.
is that all it takes is licking a donut to make you famous? Because, I mean, I've licked some other things that probably should have made me more famous than that.
So going back in 2015, Ariana Grande, which I don't like, by the way, she visited a place called Wolfie Donuts in California. She licked a donut on the counter and declared, "I hate America." So that's the backstory of that.
Wait,
Okay.
wow. That somehow gives me more questions. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, we derailed.
Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, here are the lyrics that publications like The Guardian have attempted to engage on intellectual grounds. You love it how I move you. You love it how I touch you. My one, when all is said and done, you'll believe God is a woman. And I feel it after midnight. A feeling that you can't fight. My one, it lingers when we're done. You'll believe God is a woman. To which Walsh goes on to say, she's not really saying that God is a woman per se. She's saying that she is God because she can sexually satisfy her partner. This is sacrilegious, of course, but it is sacrilege for the sake of sacrilege, which makes it pathetic and uninteresting. I personally think that if God did exist, God would be a woman because, I mean, hello, the female orgasm. So,
No guy would have come up with that shit.
yeah.
I was going to say, yes, of course, that thing.
Oh, we're sorry,
Yep.
Jamie. Sorry.
So if there is a God, I think she's a she.
I don't know.
So everybody is complaining about that song, which I haven't heard it, and I really have no intention of hearing it.
I
but
personally don't find anything wrong with, making a guy pray. It is nice.
make a guy get on his knees.
I figured that's what you meant, and I was stunned. And then I was stunned that I was stunned about a reference to sex. Wow, this is going to be a...
You know me, Jamie.
I do, but for whatever reason, I was unable to prepare myself. So, I don't know. Dennis, do you have a listener mail?
Yes, I do.
Wow. If only we got lots of mail.
My fingers, I think they're going to break.
Maybe I'm just saying. Oh, no!
Okay, this is from Sarah. Hello, all. I'm an atheist, and I go to Grand Canyon University. Yes, I knew going in it was a Christian school, but it was an affordable school that allowed me to complete my master's degree online while still being able to work. I ran into a few of us atheist non-believers. One classmate was Buddhist, and a whole variety of different views. That being said, there was a prayer forum, and a lot of my classmates would end up with God bless talk about God, etc., which was annoying, but it made me more tolerant of my Christian counterparts, a vital skill when providing mental health services in a red state. The point is that I believe if we are to change minds, we need to interact with these people and show them that we are good people with meaningful lives without a God. I did not attend the school with the intention of changing minds, but I did use the opportunity to share my perspective in a thoughtful, non-judgmental way. So,
I mean, that's one approach.
good for you. That works.
you, yeah.
That's an approach we need.
One
of many.
multiple.
A lot of many, yeah. I would say it is an interesting kind of activism, and I definitely agree as far as what is likely to change what is likely to help like a single individual that doesn't have a lot of skin in the game, as it were. Like getting them to recognize that, no, this is an important thing. And, well, the listener didn't say that, Sarah didn't write this in, but this is a thing. It does affect me. It does hurt people. You should care is a good way of getting, like, the, like, wishy-washy, I don't even,
Right.
people.
I'm Christian because my parents said so.
Yeah, like, but what does it even matter? Why would you be mean by saying that you're atheist? Like, well.
Our very existence is an insult.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Don't we eat babies?
I mean,
They're supposed to.
that's not
That's
because of atheism. That's just
like a
that
It's
just
just a human
happens.
thing.
That's just a human.
It's not the
I mean,
non-spiritual transcendental thing.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not my chakras are aligned doesn't affect whether I eat babies. So it's whether
if your
the baby's
chakras are
chakras are aligned. That's how you get the good meat.
just toss a toe in.
Colorful chakras.
Wow, this derailed very quickly.
Yeah, very
I don't know. Have you guys ever had that situation where you were stuck like with a coworker or something?
No.
Family.
Or or I was gonna say where you were then like wanting to be nice and explain things, but I figured asking about family might be interesting with that. I don't know.
No, I haven't been in that situation, oddly enough.
No, because I feel like usually there's an amount of mutual interest that needs to be there to be able to do that. And
Common ground.
right.
Yeah.
And most of the time I find that the religious will find that without me and then just decide to spiel at me. But I tend to have a little bit more respect for them and just say, if you ask me, I will tell you. But I will not spew. I will not vomit all of my religious and political opinions at you. Which apparently is not an opinion that everyone holds.
I try to avoid them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's like
Uncomfortable.
it's uncomfortable, and they are acting on irrational beliefs So it's difficult for me to trust their judgment. Because they'll come up with conclusions that are just out there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think in a way it's almost like because the preponderance of the whole gamut of relatively popular irrational beliefs is like wider now, right? Like there's an actual like population of organized people that believe the earth is flat and that believe that vaccines aren't safe, or
Right.
that global warming is a hoax, or some other such human affected thing. Why I just lost my English and my train of thought. But so there's a whole spectrum of people that are coming to irrational beliefs, and it's sort of
It's not
that Trump
narrowed
is
at
a
one specific.
effective president.
true, but is it connected?
I don't know. I think maybe the underlying thinking is like
I think this will be an unpopular thing
Bring it.
because we're doing it. I mean, it's the bubble making machine of the internet.
yeah.
You get to stay in a bubble, and if all you interact with is flat earthers, likely you'll think the earth is flat.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes, however, I
Sure.
would like to push back on that because
please, because I don't want to
I-
believe that.
just a little bit. I mean, there is definitely something to be said for external influence, whether that's in a bubble
Yeah.
or across a wider audience. But growing up, I was in a bubble,
Yeah.
and I still didn't believe.
Huh.
So I think there must be some amount of biology or
Something.
neurochemical
Yeah.
or something that makes people a little more prone to fanciful thought.
Well, have you ever wondered about like why a stupid person doesn't realize they're stupid? There is actually a term for that. It is called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah. Yes.
Where
Unfortunately familiar with that.
Are we
Yeah.
saying stupid or just ignorant on, say, things?
well, a good example would be someone, if someone would be like somebody going to audition for like American Idol and they think that they're a really good singer, and then like the minute they open their mouth, they sound horrible, but yet they can't understand why the judges rejected them in the first place. I think also the president may be a good example of that too, when there's really a lot of examples with him to name.
Really? Because
Well-
I assumed he had all the words, the best words, all of them.
And, so basically what I read is that people lack what is called metacognitive, which is, the ability to realize that you don't know very much. And so basically the short answer is the reason why people are so dumb that they don't realize that they're dumb is because they are dumb.
Yeah, well, it's like the excuse given for the show Bullshit.
Yeah.
People ask them, how do you get these whack jobs on your show? They know they're going to be mocked and ridiculed. And he goes, and he said, actually, they don't. They think they're bulletproof. They think their
They've
whacked
got it.
out
They are
belief
going to
is
be the
bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's like it's like the big dreamers. Like I met someone once from Austin who believed that in 2020 they were going to be elected president. They had a college degree, and then I don't actually know what job they had because at a certain point I wanted to stop asking them questions. But they said like, oh yeah, no, the thing I do with my spare time is I go to the university library and I read about like government and stuff.
Right?
And in that conversation, it was actually an after show dinner. They came, and through the course of that conversation, I could kind of tell what their level of intellectual depth was as far as the understanding of the concepts that would come up. And I now have to conclude that, it's possible that they could be president, but only if only if they become popular in a party.
Only because the bar dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
What bar? I don't know.
Do you mind later sharing me the name of that person? Because I
don't
dated
remember their
somebody
name.
like that, and
Wow. Now, you're saying he actually thought he was the president?
No, he was going.
He was going to
He was
be.
like, I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna be president, and I'll be able to win or whatever. It's like the delusions of like
Grandeur.
fantasy. It's like, oh, I can figure this
Visions
out.
of
right?
grandeur.
Right.
Yeah, delusions of grandeur, right? It's no, you don't have the metacognition, the critical evaluation to think, well, maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
or how about this? How about maybe I'm not that special.
Well, this is America. No one can possibly think that they're not special here.
That's true. We're
Yeah.
all pretty entitled.
That's right.
It's part
First
of it.
world
I mean, except for
Ingrained in our
me,
culture.
I'm the best, and like it's okay for me to do that because like I don't know what it is. I just have the right to do that without having earned it. I don't know if there's a word for that.
The right to do
We're all
what?
temporarily
entitled, is what I was
embarrassed
going
millionaires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
temporarily
Embarrassed
It's
millionaires.
millionaires,
Yeah. That's.
Without the millionaire.
Yeah. So I think our rotation has come back to me.
Yes.
Para ti.
I do
Well,
want to.
thank you, Sarah, for your question,
Yeah,
or
thank
for your listener mail.
Listener mail. Yeah, I was gonna say as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, wait, we got way off.
I'm not sure we ever answered
the
anything,
question.
but I don't think there was a question. So
but, it was good mail. Yeah.
yes, it was.
Yeah. So there is, I guess it's a small preview of, it's kind of shit internet apologists say, but it's different. So I suppose it's like, shit internet apologists tweeted one time briefly. Internet apologists say. So we'll do both, but I've got
Sure.
this tweet here that's from Reverend. I don't want to give him any celebrity, but it's about the Trump Putin summit, and it's I'm grateful President Trump and Putin met, and anything positive is a miracle answer to the prayers of faithful, spirit-filled Christians. Keep praying as you watch the endless spear throwing in the media. Remember, true believers are engaged in spiritual warfare. And the reason I want to bring this up is not necessarily because what summit were you watching, but because at a
Right.
certain point, like, is it more difficult for people to engage in like regular conversation because their vocabulary is so weighed down with words like spirit-filled and spear throwing, and like it's amazing. There's like an entire
Yeah.
dialect.
The whole language.
Yeah, how bright is your countenance and crap? I don't know. I'm intrigued by this. Am I the only one that cares or is interested in like how do these people talk to each other at all?
No,
No?
but that's not really the question that I got from that statement.
Well, what would you get for that?
I was thinking,
What
okay,
was your takeaway?
what is their end goal? I mean, we know what it is, but it's
Yeah.
worth asking anyway. What do they think we're going to get out of all of this bullshit?
Jesus?
The return
Coming-
of Christ.
Right, yeah.
maybe?
Oh yeah.
Armageddon,
Yeah. Stick it to the liberals.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
The rapture is going to happen, and all the Republicans in the United States are going to be lifted, and everyone else will be left behind.
And you know
we'll have a
what?
great big party.
I was going to say,
for their
I
departure.
am okay with.
And
I
they
think I
look
will
at-
be okay with that.
Yeah.
I look forward to that with such glee.
Right?
Of course, strangely, I do too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about being left behind. Earth isn't all that bad.
I mean, so long as we don't nuke the place first, because then Earth would be slightly less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it always threw me off. It's God gave Earth and animals to humans to take care of, which means it's okay for us to trash them and we don't have to care. Is a line of
Right,
Never
apparently.
understood. Like, I'm not gonna lend them my lawnmower.
We can't even take care of ourselves.
Nope.
I think we failed.
So
Again.
the main item in my shit internet apologists say this week is that Paula White, who is a spiritual advisor to our president,
Yeah.
who evidently has a whole host of spiritual advisors. It's fine. Okay, I'm powering through. I'm not sad. There's a difference between Jesus as a refugee and those who enter the U.S. illegally.
Wow.
Brace yourselves.
Jesus
requires us to draw severe distinctions.
Is that a song? Is that if that's not an actual
No, it's
song?
running like a refugee, I think.
I'm just musically illiterate. So, amid the hysteria, this is from the Christian Post, so that's the slant you're going to hear here. Amid the hysteria surrounding the separation of immigrant families who recently entered the United States illegally, one of President Donald Trump's spiritual advisors, Paula White, is speaking out in support of stronger border laws and explains the difference between Jesus and a refugee and those who break immigrant laws. White recently visited the Youth for Tomorrow facility in Bristow, Virginia, a foster facility that is taking care of several unaccompanied immigrant children who were trafficked into the United States from countries like Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. After visiting the center, White told CBN News, I think that's Christian Broadcasting Network, News, in an interview that aired on Monday, that what is being portrayed by much of the media is misleading. She also said that some people are taking biblical scriptures out of context.
Oh, really?
If you're playing the drinking game at home, that is a cue.
Yeah.
Had alcohol.
After the show, apparently.
Yeah.
In my trunk.
Yeah.
When out of context when debating the issue. White was asked by CBN's national security correspondent, Eric Rosales, if there were any biblical scriptures that came to mind during her visit. She replied, quote, I think so many people have taken biblical scriptures out of context on this to say stuff like, well, Jesus was a refugee. Yes, he did live in Egypt for 3.5 years, but it was not illegal. If he had broken the law, then he would have been sinful, and he would not have been our Messiah. She also described which is an amazing convoluted, anything that's illegal is a sin.
Wow.
And it wasn't. I don't even.
Yeah.
Anything that's
Do they really want to go there?
Well, I mean, if you're saying, but he wasn't illegal because if he'd broken the law, then he would have been sinful, that's the logical conclusion of that, clearly. It's whatever. I don't know. She's tying herself in knots, and I'm not there to
untie her?
To pick them apart?
I don't. That sounds
solve
much.
the puzzle?
To solve the puzzle, yeah, that sounds much dirtier than it is. She also described the center she visited as amazing and beyond phenomenal.
Well, then let's send all our American kids to those ones.
Yeah.
See what
Sounds like
happens.
unicorns and rainbows.
If it's
Let's
beyond
go.
phenomenal, it's certainly.
I think we found where Trump is getting some of his words.
I mean, we're doing such a great job at
phenomenal
advertising.
has too many syllables.
We're doing as good a job at advertising these centers for illegal immigrant children as Nazis did for concentration camps for Jews. So
Yeah, pretty much. Although I think that's part of the point, is just to discourage anyone from trying to immigrate here. A lot of this is, I don't know. I'm doing my best not to be overly political, but an anti-immigration of any kind agenda.
But I just want to take a sign that says seeking asylum is not illegal and hammer it into the head of all these people with a freaking nail.
Or staple it to the forehead.
Yeah. With something. I don't know. Oh, God. It goes on. Brace yourself.
I'm sure it does.
It is. Hold in your rage.
They love hearing their own voice.
Quote, they care for the children, end quote, said White, who's also the senior pastor at New Destiny Christian Center in Apopka, Florida. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know.
That's why they take them from their parents' arms. Yes.
Yeah.
They care for them.
Care. We care as long as we can separate you and make your life miserable. Quote, not just 3 square meals, psychiatric care, clinician, medical care, chapel, which is the opposite of care, events, schooling, language, and love. She said that each child is given an assessment when they arrive, which includes medical and debt evaluation. White explained that she learned while visiting the center just how many unaccompanied children are in debt to human traffickers who smuggled them into the U.S. White said that at the center she visited, all of the children face some sort of debt, totaling between $3,000 to as much as $10,000, because they have been smuggled. She also said there are cases in which parents had mortgaged their homes or put their land up to pay for their child's trafficking. These were unaccompanied minors, she was quoted as saying. If we are going to be compassionate, we have to have stricter border security and laws. She almost had it. She almost had it there. These are unaccompanied minors. If we're going to be compassionate, we have to. And then she went the other way. Yeah, she was so close.
Okay.
Are they unaccompanied perhaps because the parents got arrested?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, I think it's the ones that come here unaccompanied is what they're talking about. But they're definitely making a lot of the minors that come here with their family unaccompanied, and separating them.
She doesn't seem to know the definition of compassion. Compassion means to suffer with someone. So she's looking at these kids and she's like not seeing what they're going through. She doesn't even acknowledge what they're going through. She cares more about stricter laws.
Okay, I'm mystified though. What is this stuff about debt?
Oh, you have to pay.
Who owes who?
The child or the child's family needs to pay the person that illegally transported them into the United States, that smuggled them in.
Are we supposed to see to it that they get paid?
No.
Then what is the debt to us?
Well, there isn't, but it's a debt. She's like, oh no, they're going to have to pay the person that trafficked them into the country, and deporting them is going to ensure that they definitely have to pay that. But
they haven't already been paid?
No, I don't know.
Is that how
illegally
traffickers work? Oh, half up front and half once the child's delivered? No.
I am sure that every illegal trafficker that takes advantage of people in need, particularly children and unaccompanied minors, is fair-minded.
Oh, yeah.
Compassionate.
Yeah.
We have very reasonable payment plans. That's what every
they
coyote
pay their
says.
Taxes and everything on it. Yeah. What the hell?
I mean, actually, if you give
what
us
has
long
their
enough,
debt got to do with squat all?
I don't know. Actually, if you tried to explain this as a tax issue, and you were like, "Oh no, this is a business, and this is government trying to regulate it," we might get a Republican Congress to approve it in defense of business.
Right.
Yeah, these hardworking smugglers or traffickers are just trying to earn a fair wage, human trafficking.
Right.
And the big bad U.S. government
They're trying to have a career here, people.
is seizing their merchandise. Gross.
I steal children from different countries. That's a great job title.
Can I take this back to the part where she said that they were taking the Bible out of context?
Yes, please.
As long as you don't take that part out of context. Okay. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, just I'm wondering how she doesn't think she's taking the Bible out of context in every other way anyway.
Well, because she's right.
Yeah, and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
Because she uses the Holy Spirit to interpret the Bible. How does she know it's the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
She says it is.
Yeah.
So therefore, she is right.
She is right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if you could actually know things that easily?
You know,
Instead of having
what we need for things like this is that bit out of, what was it, Annie Hall, where the characters were in a movie line somewhere and they were offering their opinions of what the director intended, and then one guy goes, "Well, we'll just ask him," and pull the guy out of the line who happens to be a director of this movie and asks him, "What were you thinking when you made this red?" And he goes, "It was just a color,"
One day I would love if one day someone accuses me of taking like Harry Potter out of context.
Yes. But yeah, if you could just drag God in and say, "Well, God, what did you actually mean by this passage in the Bible?" And God could then offer his. I think that would be nice. But
I can do the same thing, asking Harry Potter to come out of the book, and guess what? I'm thinking we're going to have the same fucking results.
Wait, are you telling me that you can get Daniel Radcliffe to come here? Because that would be amazing.
I said Harry Potter.
That is Harry Potter.
No.
Yes.
Books over movies, child.
But he's
Books
real.
Oh.
Actually, I agree.
So
in the movies, he just comes across as a whiny.
what's her
Sorry,
name?
Hermione.
Like no.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
Rowling, yes, thank you.
Yeah, Rowling.
You're
Rowling.
drag J.K. Rowling. Say, what did you mean?
What did you mean?
What,
She'll
what,
say,
what did Harry Potter mean when he said
this character is gay? It's like, oh, really? Well, that's super progressive of you to have a character in there that literally spent 7 books in the closet and then wait and then wait
So after
and then
the
wait
series is over.
and then wait and then after 7 movies and then wait some more and then everyone is legalizing gay marriage and oh, by the way, it was progressive the whole time. You failed.
I had to come out of the closet too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you got another story for us,
I do.
Ciera?
Pope Francis praises. This is from LifeSite News, my favorite
Oh,
Catholic
God.
Facebook page. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yuck.
It's the best combination.
Pope Francis, and this is a Catholic page. Pope Francis praises Lisbon guidelines that allow communion to divorced and remarried. Pope Francis has written a letter of thanks to the Patriarch of Lisbon, Cardinal Manuel Clemente, regarding his recent instructional note in which he appears to interpret Amoris Laetitia as permitting Catholics who are divorced and invalidly, quote-unquote, remarried, to receive Holy Communion, even if they are sexually active, a practice forbidden in the scriptures and canon law of the Catholic Church. Even when I was Catholic, I used to wonder, is there going to ever be a split in the Catholic Church? And if so, is it going to be called the Republican Catholic Church of America? And now I wonder if Trump is going to be the Pope of that church.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Like, I don't know. It's I can never tell with the Catholic Church what why can't they just have a clear-cut legislative process like the Methodists do with their doctrine? Because I can never tell exactly what's going to happen. It's like it's the difference between like a well-structured, I may be rambling because this is the part of church that interests me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll ramble out loud anyway still because I like the sound of my own voice. Because the Methodists have a whole every 4 meetings we have this, every 4 years we have this giant meeting, and then there's committees and they vote on proposals, and then those go to the General Assembly and we vote on it, and if it passes, then it's canon law, then it's law and doctrine, and that's what we do. And they have like a whole process for
voting.
Yeah, who'd have thought? I mean,
all that voting that goes on in the Bible
was
is
very,
just amazing.
In favor of republic and quite the, in favor of democracy.
Okay.
Obviously, that's why he kept running around saying he was king of everything. But with the Pope, it's almost like a weird kind of like the history of England, where there was the king and it wasn't entirely clear what the law was. It was based on tradition and evolving, and people had, were gathering to force someone to sign the Magna Carta. So I really can't tell what effect any of the things he does has on doctrine.
Right.
Do you know?
Well, let's see. According to the article, the Catechism of the Catholic Church states, today there are numerous Catholics in many countries who have recourse to civil divorce and contract new civil unions. Let's see here. It also says, oh man, I lost my... Oh, here. Francis's approval of the guidelines issued by the Buenos Aires Pastoral Region has been published in the Acts of the Apostolic See as an official pontifical act, although it does not rise to the level of Catholic dogma. That's what the article concludes with. So I have been seeing a lot of people comment on these articles saying Pope Francis is such a horrible guy, and we need to not have him as the Pope anymore. And
good luck inventing an impeachment process.
I know, right? Can you fire the Pope?
No, traditionally you just killed him.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to assassinate him first. Yeah. We do not condone nor
Can you be
Will
forced
no
to
one
resign?
rid me of this troublesome
of this troublesome Pope. The official position of the Atheist Community of Austin is in opposition to murder or assassination.
Yes.
and violence in general.
And violence in general. Yep. But yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? Pope. You don't like your Pope? That's your problem.
I think
That's right. It's your hierarchy. You deal with it.
I mean, I really feel like there is going to be an American Catholic Church one day because the rest of the country, even though it is mostly Catholic, America is probably the most one of the most, or maybe it is the most evangelical country in the world.
Yeah, I would think so.
Probably how you measure it. Like, there's lots of we don't burn
measure.
people because we think they're witches. So we've got some serious competition from
Places
what
that
am I
do.
thinking of? Places that do. I think I'm confusing countries now. But also, it's like, how do you quantify Christianness? These are like ridiculous, off the wall, almost philosophical questions. At least that's what they are in my mind. Because it's like, because you can ask questions like, oh, what is good? What is justice? What is right? And you have to think about them in abstract terms and come to a conclusion. But it's like, what is Christianness? How much of it do you have? Who's more Christian? Eastern Orthodox or Roman Catholic?
Right.
You have to create the measurement first, and there's how
usually
the
you
hell
just
do you
fight
do
a
that?
war to determine this, and whoever
Christian,
survives
it's
gets
like
the answer.
Christian means nothing. It doesn't actually mean anything.
There's so many different
Yeah.
offshoots now
That's
that
true.
it really.
So am I a Christian? Is that what I'm hearing? Dead
Whoever
silence.
Even if you were, I would
Dead
still love you.
whoever identifies as a Christian is a Christian. And as far as I'm concerned, the last one I spoke to who identified as a Christian determines, in my mind, what Christians believe.
So I was gonna make the joke. Well, then I'm a Christian atheist, but I feel like that will throw off your measuring stick.
Yeah, and so the next Christian I talk to will say something else about what Christians believe, and I'll go, oh, okay, I must have been wrong. This is now what Christians believe.
Yeah. Well, Megan, do you got another news story or item for us?
I do, actually. And this one's going to be, I think, kind of fun in a crazy way. So, this time, not Alex Jones, but out of the world of InfoWars.
I was going to say, I saw InfoWars. I got excited.
It's just a wealth of crazy that just never ends.
It's a wealth of truth.
Sure.
Wake up, sheeple.
But so basically, the article I was looking at is titled InfoWars, Deep State Trump Assassins Will Use Internet Kill Switch in Cover-Up.
Wait.
Yes.
Sorry, I should let you finish, but it's like, so is Trump part of the deep state and he has assassins now?
Nope.
Because Alex Jones doesn't like him anymore or something. They broke up.
So if anyone had any tech issues related to their internet yesterday, apparently that was due to Google.
Right.
Google had a cloud service outage, which cascaded to a lot of things. I personally also experienced, and a lot of people inside my office were standing up going, oh my God, my phone's out. Your phone's out too? Oh my God. Trump just went and talked to Putin. Oh shit, it's the end. No.
Not
luckily.
a bad conclusion.
You would have had an alert.
But maybe. But in this case, it's right-wing news outlets Breitbart and Drudge Report were briefly offline yesterday due to a Google Cloud service outage that affected numerous other websites, including Snapchat, Pokemon Go, and Spotify. But to InfoWars host Owen Schroyer, the brief service outage was proof of a, quote, internet kill switch existing that the deep state will use to cover up its allegedly planned assassination of President Trump, end quote.
Yikes.
Wow.
That is ridiculous. It'd be easier to have...
It'd be it would be so much easier
to
just
disrupt the power grid if you were the government.
Oh, I was going to say, if you really wanted to assassinate Trump, just go to his local McDonald's and put something in the fucking food. I mean...
Ricin? No, I'm just kidding. I'm a Breaking Bad fan. Anyway.
We do not. We do not advise this.
The official position of the ACA is an opposition to all assassinations and murders.
I'm just saying...
Even if you don't like the person you're going to assassinate.
Right.
I'm just saying objectively, from a difficulty level, one would assume it would be easier.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, you
Wow,
could get him by
internet
longbow
kill
as
switch.
well, probably.
Does he move?
Not
that
sure
slow?
that's
he moves
possible.
Pretty slow, doesn't he?
He doesn't move real fast. This is a lot of weight to move on legs that don't exercise.
But where do we all fall on the quote internet kill switch?
Yeah, nah.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, you could try and mess with internet service providers, but the infrastructure's still there. I don't know.
And the
Where's
internet
Vern
is
when you need him?
like-
Vern.
He's not here.
He's gone.
Vern,
Yeah,
what is
no.
internet? Can you explain it?
If the internet had a kill switch, the Chinese would already have pushed it.
Yeah, it's
Then
true.
again, you know,
It
if
probably does in China. They've got some amount of that going on.
that means that Breitbart and Judge Report are gone, I mean,
Well, yeah, well, they think they're targeted, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's
Then-
just a general outage. Okay.
And
It
that
was-
notorious right-wing news info site, Pokemon Go.
yes.
Yes.
Snapchat, Pokemon Go, and Spotify. Oh,
Did it take down InfoWars? Does he think that's just like because
no, it only took down Breitbart and Drudge Report and my office, but it only lasted for like maybe like an hour, maybe a little longer.
it's long enough to kill the president? That's what they're saying, and not what we're advocating.
Well, he
Wait,
seems-
if they're
he
wanting
seems-
to use that to cover it up, I'm wondering.
Yeah, is that going to replace?
Right. I mean, that doesn't mean the cameras aren't still filming. It just means that it takes longer to upload. Do they not know how this shit works? Oh, wait, no, I just
mean,
answered
That's
my
not
own
how any of this works.
Question. Accurate. They do not. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that was that.
For a while, there was a friend of mine that would get me to watch InfoWars because InfoWars straight was entertainment for him. It's like Everclear, right? Like there's some people that can tolerate it. You only take it like just straight up unmixed if you can, but if you can mix it into things, sometimes it could be slightly enjoyable if you have just a little bit of it. I don't know.
Ugh.
I mean, that reminds me, but granted, my family.
But also it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
My family history is a little off, but I did have a cousin who stayed with me for a little while, and I came home several times to InfoWars on my TV. And oh my God, walking in going, what the fuck are you doing?
Shit.
Oh yeah, you kept turning that off. I think you told me this story.
Oh, no, that was Fox News, and that was my husband's uncle.
Well, one person at a time. I was trying to think of a proper noun. Dennis, do you have another
Yes,
letter
yes,
for us?
I do.
Oh.
All right. So, from Walt.
Hi, Walt.
Walter White.
I'm glad that the Nonprofits Radio is continuing to evolve. I'm writing to introduce some selection pressure. Although I miss hearing Jeff on the show and Russell as of late, it's good to hear the thoughts and opinions of the younger generation of atheists. I'm about Jeff's age. To that point, I listen to hear your opinions on the news, so I cringe when the news source is cited as Patheos. Patheos is a blog hosting platform, not a journalistic organization. Ed Braylon and Hemnan almost always link to their sources. If they didn't, I wouldn't trust them. So they are readily available. When I listen to the Nonprofits, I want to hear your analysis of the news. If I want to know Ed and Hemant's opinions, I read their blogs, which I do. Keep evolving, and thanks for the great show.
Well, we
Fair
will
enough.
keep
you.
evolving. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I saw this newsletter, and none of my sources are Patheos. So, thank you, Walt.
Nor are mine.
Yay.
Me either, but they are blog pages mostly. So
Yeah, but I mean,
I
you
will
weren't
admit
citing them.
that.
I think most of yours were commenting on like opinion. So, I
Or
don't know,
things that are
whatever.
actually happening in the world. So.
Yeah.
When I hear the word Patheos, I always think, oh, the humanity. You know, it's like,
Yeah, actually, I don't know where that comes from. Well, I've got a fun one. So, Sandra Little Brown was running for re-election, in Alabama to be Alabama commissioner for
Okay.
District 2. Yes, it's a little bit of a small race, but it is worth it because
Sure.
some of the campaign literature that Ms. Brown was distributing was claiming that her re-election campaign has the blessing of Jesus, quote, and his followers, end quote.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Speaking for all Christians.
Speaking for all Christians, vote for me.
Yeah. That's not self-aggrandizing at all.
The pink flyer, which made rounds on social media, is a distortion of a sample ballot where her name is magnified and circled in, and her opponent's is in smaller font. And it goes on to say that Brown is supported by Jesus Christ and his followers, presumably meaning that someone that doesn't vote for her is not a follower. But this is her quote about the flag. We pray before we go out and we do anything. This is a divine piece of material, the flyer, that went out from this campaign. She told supporters and staff, I'm not afraid to own Jesus anywhere. Well, okay, actually,
Oh, damn.
Wow.
I'm gonna make him my bitch.
I was gonna
That's
say,
right.
it's like,
I mean-
is she a gamer? Like,
I'm
just
the
got
humblest. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I know. I love that as a joke.
Jesus did come to serve, so
Woo! All right.
Indeed.
Let's see. I'm not afraid to own Jesus anywhere. This campaign is built up on righteousness from the beginning to the end. If anybody got any problem with that ballot, they can go see Jesus, which I don't think she intended as like a veiled
threat?
death threat. But
wow.
yeah, damn.
God damn.
Her opponent's campaign manager accused Brown of distributing the flyer to make her sound more pious among church-going people in the district. Sandra Little Brown is trying to do anything that she can to absolve herself of all the wrongdoing that she has done over the last 8 years to the suffering and poor of Jefferson County. Using Jesus' name, I guess, would make her seem a little more religious, but Jesus wouldn't make the poor people suffer like Sandra has. Which that statement is probably why I went with this, because I'm just picturing him as like, Jesus wouldn't have made the poor people suffer like you, Sandra. Like, called out.
Sandra.
In an interview
Dueling Jesuses.
a week before, so she tied in the Democratic primary in Alabama. They both got 46% of the vote, and so there was a runoff. Yeah. So this is the campaign in the runoff, and she said she believed being a Jefferson County commissioner is part of God's plan, adding that she is a Sunday school teacher and deaconess at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Riley, which explains a lot. God has ordained me to do this because I couldn't do it without him, she said. She lost the runoff election.
I guess losing the runoff election was God's will.
plan, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
I was gonna
his
say
plan.
God
was-
has a better plan.
Yeah, God has a
Right.
better plan for you
That
to be unemployed for a while.
God just really fucking sucks.
Yeah. Jesus don't got your back. Where were you? You were supposed to stuff the ballot.
He was owned. What's the deal?
Yeah. You had this in the bag and then you fucked it up. No. Yeah. Let's see.
What the hell?
Yeah, we're ripping through these real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I did find.
Yeah. This is a good opportunity to point out that TheNonProphets
Yes.
is an official production of the ACA and is supported by the ACA, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization registered in the state of Texas, and it lives or dies based on your donations. That being said, there's the Patreon, patreon.com/TheNonProphets, spelled like prophets. If you can find it somewhere in your heart or your wallet, more likely, to give us a little bit of money so we can keep doing what we like doing and what you like seeing and hearing us do.
With better and better equipment?
With better and better equipment. These headphones are a serious improvement. Yep. That and, it also supports the ACA, which recently was able to have its doors open 7 days a week, puts on a weekly dinner for its local residents, is working on releasing a newsletter for all of its members and all interested parties online, maintains a social media and internet team that populates its Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat now, which I found out after the fact, which was frustrating because I was president of an organization with a Snapchat that I didn't follow, so
we do not
super
sadly have a Pokemon Go, but
no, we don't. Actually, we may be. I need to talk about that. That's on my list. We should be a
absolutely
a stop. We need to be a Pokestop. There's one actually just up the way, so if you're in that corner, you go just out the door. You can reach it, is what I've heard from other people. So if you like the things that we do and the community that we support and you want to feel like you're helping us out just a little bit, please consider going to patreon.com/TheNonProphets, prophets spelled like profits, not profits.
Right.
All right. That being said, did you have an extra story?
I did not have an extra story.
I have a little something.
I was gonna say. I think
you got a little something for us over here.
I do.
It's something that sounds less creepy than what I just said out loud.
Yeah, it's definitely more on the chill side. It is having to do with music, but not shitty Ariana Grande music.
What? You take that back, or wait, don't. I don't know. I don't have a skin in the game.
And, I can't come up with something clever to say. That's why I got quiet. The Killers, Brandon Flowers, Swagger, and Faith. I chose this because I love the Killers. The lead singer is Brandon Flowers. If you are not familiar with them, their most popular song is Mr. Brightside. They're pretty great. I've seen them in concert 2.5 times. Okay. So the thing about Brandon is the lead singer is that Brandon is actually a Mormon. And he also has, let's see here. He has a promotional video for the LDS Church on YouTube, and he is also a rock star. So put that together.
Wow.
And I was totally going to read this article, but I lost my place.
Now that you're vetting it, it's like...
Oh, here we are. Okay. Oh, God damn it. Sorry, guys.
Well, that's going to... I will say, being a Mormon and being...
A celebrity,
I imagine that tour bus is fucking boring.
Yeah. I had a friend that toured with a band that was dry. And that was weird because he'd like, oh, I'm going on this tour in Europe and doing all this. And I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy. And nope, nothing to do, nothing to report. Like, I mean, that was, I don't know that he ever used Snapchat. Like, what was his life? I don't know.
I did find the part that I was going to read. But Brandon Flowers might seem like an unlikely ambassador from Sin City. The band is from Henderson, Nevada, which is just south of Vegas. He's perfectly content playing backup guitar at home with his son, Gunnar. He and his wife, Tana, they have 3 boys together, met cute. We saw each other, but I would have been too shy to talk to her, Brandon said, and she came up and gave me her phone number. And they kept that piece of paper.
Aww.
If they seem like an unusually clean-cut rock and roll couple, it may be due in part to their Mormon faith. Brandon even participated in an ad campaign for the church, which you can find on YouTube. Brandon says, I don't go to church because I got nothing better to do on Sundays. I really believe it, he laughed. I don't know what my life would be what my life would be like without it. I think I would have been a casualty of rock and roll. And they asked him, so it saved you? And he says, for sure. So,
whatever floats your boat.
My favorite musician is a Mormon.
That boat is a fucking boring ass boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fragile. Yeah.
Yeah, it just.
They are fun in concert, though.
Uh-huh.
Even if you don't do any kind of legal or illegal substances.
I mean,
Well, the non-profits does not know.
Snorting coke off a hooker's ass doesn't make you a bad person. Come on, live a little.
No, but it can give you a heart attack
The
if you do it
official
too many
position
times.
That
of
is
the
true.
ACA.
Maybe we just need a disclaimer to go every time I speak.
Disclaimer, Megan is about to say something. No. Did you have a third piece of listener mail or...
Well, I guess I do. This one is from Mel. Hi, I'm an Australian, part Aboriginal atheist who lives in St. Albans, Melbourne, Victoria, whom is an atheist. I love your show. It's great to hear new voices, and I like Eric and Jamie.
Ooh, half of Eric and Jamie is here.
I just wanted to let you guys know that if you watch YouTube and get lots of ads, Google Play as apps for computer, phone, and tablets that block ads, tracking and all that. If you use them, you want to block ads. Okay. I'm not sure I understood that sentence.
I'm not sure I understood it either.
I think I did. And I would like to note that that's actually how we make our
Right.
money.
It is.
So please, when you're watching our videos, please do not find
Use
a way to
ad
block
blocker.
them, because that means that's a donation to us that we do not get.
Yeah. If
Right.
you are tight on cash in the same way that I am, you can help us out by watching as many ads as you can.
As you can stomach, yes.
Click
Yes.
on them, leave that page open in another tab, scroll around, click on something on it, go back,
Yeah.
rewatch the same thing, click on another one.
Just set it on silent, have it
Donate
sit
a little
beside
bit of your
you.
time doing something that's boring
To help us,
to help us bring you something that's not boring.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes, so she continues. But Australia just recently had the yes for same-sex marriage voted in. Many religious organizations here supported it. My parents are Christian, but very progressive. In fact, my father used to be a Christian minister who preached at churches. He is a member of the Uniting Church of Australia. On all their signs outside of their church, they had the gay pride flag and big vote yes for the same-sex marriage. In fact, they have gay and female ministers. They support transgender rights. Anyway, Australia's treatment of immigrants and refugees is appalling. We lock them up, and we have for years in Manus Island or other places. So America isn't alone in the shit things government and countries do. Also, the treatment of Aboriginals has been and continues to be shit. Australia had a white Australia policy for years and stolen generations, where they took away kids from Aboriginals that had any part white, and this went on for generations. It's called the stolen generations now. Anyway, love your show. Keep up the good work.
Wow.
Related to that, there's a movie with Kenneth Branagh called Rabbit Proof Fence. If anyone ever wants to watch it, I highly recommend it, because it goes over that whole wonderful time in Australia's history.
Okay.
Okay, rabbit-proof fence.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about that.
I knew there were...
I don't know too much about Australian culture, unfortunately.
Well, that's because it's on the bottom of the world. No one cares about it. No,
I mean, it's on the bottom of the world.
You're accurate.
Oddly, I met an Australian fellow at Dairy Queen. He was working at Dairy Queen.
Was he a...
He took my order, and I went, "Where are you from?" And he went, "Australia." And I went, "Great, I visited there." So that was really cool.
Thank you for my blizzard.
Yes.
Do you know what that means? No. No, I knew there was something that, look, a country that started because a British colony came along and took people's land. Yeah, I knew there was bad treatment of Aboriginals. I didn't know how recent it was or how
Yeah.
pervasive.
But we can all rest easier now that the flat Earth folks have said there's no such thing as Australia.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's
what?
better. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah.
There's no Australia. If you've ever been to Australia, no, you haven't. Nuh-uh.
right. It's just actors
Yeah, it's all
pretending to
actors.
be
Like the
a
Truman
foreign
Show?
country. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So like, where
You
is
just-
it located? Like where is the dome?
I
with
don't know.
Australia
I
in
don't know. They don't specify that.
it's-
They just say the airline pilots are all in on it.
Yeah,
Everybody's
it's
in
a
on it.
giant conspiracy.
Yeah.
Only the 24 of us
Where
know
is
the truth.
EJ?
That's right.
EJ has some better stuff to do with their time. No, they're
Wow.
They're off
Yeah.
starting their life with a career and
Stuff.
doing real human stuff, adult stuff, whatever.
And be aware, that's it for my mail.
I know. Well, that part I didn't know, but yeah, the thing that first caught me by that letter was it was like, oh, bomb drop. Also, bye. I love the show. Because it's like, yeah, I'm here. There was terrible generations of oppression and terribleness. Still love the show. Bye.
yes. Here's a huge downer. Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta
We've had-
gotta address that stuff.
Yeah, we've definitely had.
We gotta
Australians-
realize it happened.
Yeah, and that it's happened here. And actually,
Yeah.
the other day I saw, not to be American-centric and bring it back here, but that's my area of expertise. The Anti-Defamation League is logging an increase of a white supremacist and anti-Semitic propaganda being passed out on college campuses. So, college students, keep
Not
your eyes
surprising
peeled
at all.
for some of them. I do my best not to look at too many of them because they keep me down and occupy my mind for more productive things. But
Right.
one of them that's kind of related to what I just said is there's like, oh, America not colonized, conquered or something. And I'm like, you're an asshole.
Oh,
But
yeah, children will
I
conquer
mean-
us, right?
Yeah, they kind of conquered over the
Well-
Native Americans.
I mean, yes, but what they're saying is like, oh, it's earned, and because white people did it, there's like, yeah.
Somehow better.
Yeah, there's a whole like
Yeah,
might
like-
makes right, survival of
Right.
the strong.
Like
bullshit.
they built the nation, right?
Yeah.
Them personally
Yeah,
wrote the Constitution
and
and
that and all
built
quote,
all the
white,
buildings.
all
yeah,
white
right.
people feel the same. I just want to put them in a room with a French person and a German person, and have them say to their face, "No, you are the same to me," and just see how long that lasts. Just, oh yeah, all white Europeans are the same. Apparently, only if you live in the United States, because we have no geography or history lessons here anymore. I don't know.
And get a Swedish person in there too to say, you guys are all fucking nuts.
Yeah, I will say as a, hey, white supremacist language buzzword watch out, try making that into a hashtag. Because they are always talking about, oh, it's the law of nature. If a group of people conquers another group of people, that's good. Therefore, because colonization happened, white people, yay, hooray, or whatever. Their ending is more dramatic and has a bunch of Nazi salutes. But,
Right.
yeah.
You know, I did have one other thing that I wanted to share, and I
Oh,
totally
yeah?
just remembered. There is a picture from the transformed wife going around on Facebook, where the image is of a cute white blonde girl.
Yeah.
If you can see the camera, I
yeah.
don't know. Anyway, that says men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos.
I beg to differ.
Wow, that's kind of specific.
I just don't have tattoos. I have debt and I have great sex, but no tattoos. But
I was going to say two of those things, I think, or rather one, debt-free is always good, probably.
well, this
Just for
woman
humans.
goes on to say, do you know how much more attractive debt-free virgins without tattoos are to young men? Unfortunately, there are so few types of these young women anymore because of the high costs of college, debt, and sexual promiscuity even within those of the church. As believers in Jesus Christ, we need to live in a way that is pleasing to him because his ways are the best. He calls debt a burden and urges us to live the lives of sexual purity. To which she goes on to say there are many more reasons why Christian young women should carefully consider whether or not they go to college, especially if they want to be wives and mothers someday. Secular universities teach against the God of the Bible and his ways. It's far from what God calls women to be and do. It teaches them to be independent, loud, and immodest, instead of having meek and quiet spirits. Men don't want to marry a woman with debt. Most of this debt comes from college. They would also prefer a woman who still lives at her parents' house that has had no other relationships. Do those two things and you will be highly sought after.
So does this woman seek to instruct us?
I think so. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out whether or not
Doesn't the Bible say something about that?
That she has never met a young man or just never spoken to a man.
What's interesting is that in her profile picture on Facebook, she does look older and she's holding an infant. She also criticizes women who wait to have children at a later age in the blog post.
Right.
She'd really hate me because I'm not having any.
Waiting eternally.
Yeah. It's funny because on the original post, I found I saw the best comment. It was pretty hilarious. Let me see if I can find it.
Wow.
It's always interesting when they're explicit about no, women should be, what was it? A meek spirit. Meek spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else catch the whole needing to please Jesus part? Which
that's what I thought too.
Which I feel like kind of contradicts her whole entire statement about, promiscuity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Pleasuring Jesus.
This is my body. Take and eat.
Eat me.
This is the quote. This is the comment that I found absolutely amusing. Yeah, girls with tattoos and debt smoke the jazz cabbage too. I just want a woman to do some good old-fashioned BDSM with. Bible discussion study meetings. A lot of BDSM is all we'd need.
I mean,
it's pretty funny. A lot of my, I even posted the picture, and a lot of my Christian friends are just like, I have tattoos, I have debts, and but not much else.
Yep.
I kind of want to see them. I have tattoos. I have debt. Ellipsis.
I am waiting for marriage.
I'd like to just point out that if you follow her rules, that at some point you might not get the tattoo, but at some point you will be in debt and not be a virgin anymore. So,
and first of all, why would you want to marry someone who's that fucking judgmental? Honestly, oh, I'm not attracted to you because you're not a virgin and because you have tattoos and because you weren't smart with your money, But and I asked my friends, it's like, why would you want someone like that in the first place? It doesn't, don't try to conform to be this woman, this perfect godly woman. Just be yourself, and the right person will come along. And if you have the same values, go for it,
Yeah.
So, yeah, and second of all, why would I want a young man? I like older men. I don't need a young man.
But God wants the patriarchy.
Ask any good God-fearing people. He does, apparently. I was going to say, that's almost an argument if this article touches on reality at all, which I'm not sure it does. It's almost an argument to be immodest and have tattoos and have debt, because then the judgmental person that would be that and demand that you be godly and have is it meek, mild?
A meek spirit, I think.
A meek, whatever.
Yeah.
Done, eliminated from the pool, effectively, on your search.
So, meek spirit, isn't that one step away from just suicide?
I feel like that's a dark poetic commentary on.
It's a whistle for it's a dog whistle for doormat, I suppose.
Yeah.
She also goes to say, women will start having babies later in life. That is, if they can still conceive naturally. Is college worth having less children? I will never understand how women prefer careers over having precious babies.
That's right. You can't understand it.
I believe that is true. I believe that she does not understand how that's the case. Yeah.
Another offense is they lose a handful of years of experience learning to cook large meals and learning how to work in the garden.
Oh, my freaking...
College kids don't cook.
Make me a sandwich.
If they do, it's typically for themselves. Well, no duh, motherfucker. We're poor. Sorry, I hope I'm not cursing too much.
No,
there's no such thing on
there
the show.
better fucking not be women on this show.
And she concludes with, young women, be wise in the path that you choose to walk on. Keep a long-term vision of your life and how you hope it will be in someday instead of acting upon all of the what-ifs that many will throw at you. Trust God with your life, study the word, and take the narrow path that leads to life. Stay virgins until marriage,
Narrow
out of
path.
debt, and don't get tattoos.
See, I feel like this entire article was prompted because she was walking down the street and saw someone with a tattoo and just like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
had a I don't know, collapsed in a fit of anger.
Yeah,
and was,
called the police on them, and the police just looked at her. You know,
Yeah,
it's got to be
probably.
something like that. Wow.
yeah.
I just...
What's funny is there was a line in there that was like sounded like good advice. It was like, keep an eye on the future and contemplate the things of your choices. And then it was like, oh, also read the Bible and do whatever it says. And it was like,
Right.
oh.
Oh,
Don't
you
have
almost
too many
had it.
Yeah. It was like, oh, terrible, terrible, terrible crap. And you're just like, here we go. And then it was like, oh, plan for the future. Think about your life. And then, the Bible, failure.
Well, you know what helps you not have as many what ifs? If you try more shit.
That's
Yeah.
exactly true.
That's
That's
right.
I am interpreting the word of this woman's, post or whatever in the most whatever, I don't know. You can just
Generous
interpret ways
way?
whatever you want. No. I was, it's the Christian thing. Just interpret the words to mean whatever you want them to mean and then do what you were going to do anyway.
Right.
Hypocrisy at its best.
Indeed.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. Christian hypocrites are more fun.
I actually have a story to tell.
Bring it on.
So I am going to be doing what's called Mortified, where people get up and read their old journal diaries out loud, or journal
Oh,
entries
boy.
aloud.
Okay.
And one of the entries was I wrote about when my sister got married at 18. She got married in the Catholic Church. And
I'm sorry.
before, I know, it didn't end well.
Oh, no.
But at least it ended, right? So anyway, so on her wedding night, I went into her suite. Nobody was in there. I went into her suite and I found a box of condoms. Well, if you are not knowledgeable of the Catholic Church's teachings on sexuality, contraception is a no-no. Even when they first introduced natural family planning, the church was actually against that too. But then they learned to accept it.
Because it doesn't work.
Yeah, I was
Anyway.
gonna say rhythm.
So my sister went around and told everybody about natural family planning and how birth control is immoral and that people should not use contraception. And then I walk into her hotel suite and what do I find? A box of condoms. So I get really upset.
Were there helium tanks there too?
No, there was no balloon
no
blowing.
luck.
But I was upset that she was just so hypocritical and that she
Yep.
was going around preaching. And so I was really mad and I took the box of condoms, I threw the condoms away and I wrote, "I'm very disappointed in you" on the box.
Oh.
And that journal entry got me onto the show.
Nice.
So that'll be in October. I'll let you guys know when that is.
Wow.
Oh, no, all of mine are just.
Yeah. Then they're all anti-abortion right up until their daughter needs one.
Yep, absolutely. What are we going to do about this
Well,
one?
sometimes
not
even
enough.
then.
Well.
Sometimes even then. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, we're nearing the end, so
We are.
Who wants to hear a depressing story about how Chuck Norris isn't great?
Well, let's end on a low note. Sure.
Is this a hoax? I
And
don't think
yet
I'd ever
not
hear that.
surprising.
Oh, don't do it. Chuck Norris is super religious and opposes gay rights.
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was just invincible. I don't know too
No.
much about Chuck Norris.
no.
He definitely
he's-
thinks he's invincible with
he's
the power of
unfortunate.
Jesus, but yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that
a real
about
shame
him.
because it's not just a bunch of like hype from him being like a cowboy on TV that's actually short. He actually did study like multiple types of martial arts and was the first like Westerner to earn the something at the place. There was
I mean,
whatever, and it was super. He did a thing that no one before him that was like white had done before or something. I don't know.
yeah, this is why you want to transfer all those jokes over to Bruce Lee. You know, that's
Yeah, to be quite honest, though, Bruce Lee is a much better candidate for those jokes. Bruce Lee, when Bruce Lee does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up; he pushes the earth down.
That's right.
I can't think of anything else.
I've literally just forgotten all of
I
the
know,
Bruce Lee
I know.
jokes now. Hashtag Bruce Lee jokes. But anyway, it's this is from the National Catholic Register, a source of
Wow. Unending amusement?
Catholicism.
Oh, okay.
Catholicism is not the religion of nice, is the title, not more.
Wow. Okay.
We could use a little more Chuck Norris and a lot more Jesus, is the subheading.
What?
Chuck Norris.
You can
Okay.
tell these guys are hip with the kids,
Yeah.
particularly since his name is
Yeah.
Matthew Archbold. But one should always be wary of disagreeing with Chuck Norris. Fuck you.
Okay, here's a Chuck Norris joke.
Bruce Lee joke.
It's like, wait. Chuck Norris was on the cross next to Jesus. Jesus was a thief.
Oh,
Actually, I approve of that because that's a joke Chuck Norris would hate. One should always be wary of disagreeing with Chuck Norris. Always. But especially when he's speaking truth.
Oh, boy.
Apparently, Chuck Norris is going to punch you for disagreeing. The famous actor and martial artist recently urged parents to consider sending their children to more conservative colleges, including the Faithful Christendom College of Front Royal, Virginia. Apparently, they named it to scare away anyone with sense. But
Yeah.
he warned parents that many universities have, quote, become little more than leftist indoctrination camps where too many professors are simply peddling progressive ideologies packaged under the guise of education and shutting and keeping out anything that would challenge them.
Like science.
Or psychology.
Or psychology,
Yeah.
or history, or theology classes taught well, or
humanities.
or humanities, or math, or I've run out of subject. I'm not really sure what there is that
Keep
you
going.
can teach. Anyway, most
Reading?
universities, Norris warned, are a, quote, one-sided educational environment, end quote, because education has sides. Oh, this
Heaven
is
forbid
really,
we
I was
should-
trying to see if I could get you guys to be angry and super react to something, but I think this is going to backfire real fast.
Yeah,
on me.
heaven forbid we should present other ideas. Yes.
Yeah, but also, well, there are it's the sides of religion, the sides of education. False. That is not what education is, Mr. Norris. Fuck you. All right. With, quote, restrictive speech codes biased against conservative students and propagandizing for radical causes and lifestyles, end quote. Like being in control of your own body and making your own choices. If
Yeah.
you're a woman. Radical. Truth isn't something that is especially prized nowadays, is an ironic sentence
By
printed
you
in the
guys,
National
yeah.
Catholic Register, especially at colleges and universities. And we have not only allowed this, but we've funded it. Instead of teaching our children our faith, we allow them to be shaped by the culture. And so you should let your...
Heaven forbid there should be a culture.
Yeah,
No-
like, no... Breaking news. Christians come out against culture.
no, here,
apparently.
breaking news. Culture helps form children's outlook on life.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, other people. Maybe don't have them all being ridiculously Jesus at you. Why do we continue to do this? It's almost axiomatic that Christians and pro-lifers, this is their word, not mine, apparently they call themselves pro-lifers, will one day emerge victorious in the culture war simply because they tend to have more children than secularists and atheists.
They're just going to outpace us?
Yeah, they're just going to outbreed us like von Neumann machines. I mean,
they're going to try. They're trying.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was Catholic and when I was pro-life, I used to think like, oh, it'll be fine. All the pro-choice people will die out, and then everybody will have babies and cringe.
yeah.
No, that's the idea. That gets like there's places. There's I forget the name of the summer camp that they sent, but they literally they say that as one. The anti-Christian forces are coming, and if you don't have a bunch of kids, you won't have the votes to defend yourself against them.
Right. Hashtag we are the locusts. Yeah.
Hashtag fight for religious liberty.
With babies. But in the end, it's not true. Actually, what's funny is that I didn't know that dead baby jokes existed as a genre until my high school theology teacher at Catholic school told me that was a thing. It's like literally the only place I've heard a person just list off a bunch of them.
That's awesome.
She was great. But in the end, it's not true. As long as Christians continue sending their children to secularist and atheist indoctrination camps, they will lose. So why do we continue to do this? To not make waves, to be nice and polite. We want to be Christians, but only in the inoffensive variety.
Nice and polite bullshit.
I mean, that's what they...
I mean...
Wow.
I guess it depends on the ones you know.
Yeah,
I guess.
just smiling doesn't
Who
mean
stands in front of the Planned Parenthood buildings? I mean,
I mean, they smile while they bomb them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't have like a standard phrase to yell when they bomb it. So, I've heard parents say they want their children to be well-rounded, which essentially means they bring
Heaven forbid. they
outrage. Well-rounded, they should be well-crossed, a different shape. I've heard parents say they want their children to be well-rounded, which essentially means they bring them to church on Sunday and then immerse them in the culture the other 6 days.
I thought well-rounded meant healthy. Oh, wait, no, it does. Okay, it makes more sense now.
Yeah. It's also like, the word culture is a positive thing generally, unless you're describing like a bad, is there no culture in your church?
I mean, do they not have Christian culture?
It's a subculture, yeah. I mean, but no, a culture nonetheless.
Yeah, but no, culture means bad now, apparently.
That's right. But subculture is good.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you view children as tools.
Yes.
As a weapon, really.
As a weapon.
As a
for
weapon,
victory.
yeah.
But which essentially means you bring them to church on Sunday and then immerse them in the culture the other 6 days. That's not well-rounded. You're forging the enemy's weapons. God, I love when they talk.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
It's just so on its face, off
And they
the
try to
wall.
be like poetic and it
They're
doesn't
horrible.
work.
They try to be
This is
poetic, but they
horrible.
don't have an idea of what the poetic use of language would be. They collect buzzwords every now and then, and they invent new buzzwords, and then they use them until they get bored with them.
Well, how can
And
they
then
know
there's a new
anything
thing.
about poetry if they're not going to secular schools?
Well, poetry is of the devil. So
They have psalms.
yeah, I was
And they
gonna
also
say,
have-
Psalm of Solomon
And songs.
songs.
Songs of Solomon.
Songs of Solomon. Yeah.
That dirty
Great
book.
stories in the
Say,
Bible.
doesn't count as pornography if it's in the Bible.
Issue of horses, yeah.
But is it erotica still?
Yeah,
That's
it's,
Shiva.
Ezekiel 23:20.
I love that one.
Look it up, kids.
It'll be the well-fingered part of the Bible, yeah.
That's what she said. Erotica in scripture. Where can we find that?
Ooh, can we get a what do they call it? With the pictures.
A picture book?
Yeah, like a picture Bible, but like all the naughty bits.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there is something like that. Didn't David
those
Fitzgerald
things
put
exist,
something
I think.
together like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But if
I'm
it has
sure there's a
$1 million
portion of
idea-
porn.
I've got to
Pornhub.
get one and then finger it.
Finger your way through it, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yes.
At a faithful Catholic school, students can argue about when life begins. Really? Yes, they can actually argue about the science and what it means. Try that at a secularized university, and you'll have the Dean of Academic Affairs rushing in with coloring books and Kool-Aid for the other students while offering you a nice day at a sensitivity training seminar somewhere in Expulsionville. The irony
Wow.
is so thick I have to come up for air.
Yes. Holy crap.
Sensitivity trait. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well, but if you argue,
his view of colleges isn't slanted at all.
No.
I mean, if you argue that life doesn't begin at conception at a Catholic school, they're gonna freaking exercise you.
Yeah,
right? They're gonna throw their
it's
crucifixes at
blasphemy
you.
in contradiction to dogma.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to argue about that, particularly as a student. It's almost like, you're wrong about your own thing, dumbass. All right. At a Catholic school, students can. Oh my God! At a Catholic school, students can actually discuss gender and sexuality. We will get as far through this as we can. We may take this one sentence at a time.
I mean,
oh my God!
Wow.
Oh.
Sure.
Really?
Sure you can.
Well, actually, it's simpler, presumably, because they don't recognize.
Right. All they'll talk about
Oh, there's two genders.
male, female. That's
Male,
it.
female,
Period.
end of discussion. And then
Yeah.
sexuality means marriage. Done. So I guess you can.
Wow.
I have
'Cause that's-
questions.
Yeah?
Many questions. I'm thinking the
You will not
questions
receive
that you're
answers.
not allowed to ask
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
one
say.
of those classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're not allowed to ask questions. You're a woman. This is Catholic school. Try that at a secular school. Actually, do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask about gender.
They'll
and
be
sexuality.
happy to inform you. Yes,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Depends on, well, okay. Can you really call Texas public schools secular anymore? Faithful Catholic schools don't need #safe spaces. Oh, fuck you. Because the pursuit of truth is what everyone is there for.
Yeah.
Unless you are at Notre Dame, or if you are at Gonzaga, or even
Well,
even now Ave Maria. Those are all Catholic universities.
I have to agree that his power of irony is just about the most powerful I've
I
seen.
know.
this whole-
That's true. It is the one thing that he has, perhaps, that may even be greater than Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee's
Yeah.
Or Chuck Norris. Ooh.
No,
hypocrisy and irony.
hypocrisy. Hypirony.
Hypirony.
Hypirony, I like it.
Hypirony, yeah.
That
there it
goes
is.
with antisappointment. Yeah.
Ironic. No.
Trying to invent words.
Almost.
No more
Word
buzzwords.
mashups.
No more buzzwords.
The point, okay, last paragraph, I promise, maybe.
All right.
The part that I want to get to is the motto for just about every secularized university should be Pilate's infamous question, what is truth? Okay,
For the
fucking
love of-
shit.
What the?
I'm sorry, but the truth is that you're not called to get along with others or play nice all the time. Jesus said, quote, "Do you think I have come to establish peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division," which is the nice translation, end quote, which is the nice translation, because usually
Right.
it says war.
with a sword or something.
With the sword. Yeah. So, yep.
Wow.
Just saying, all of the people, there are people that take those shit parts of the Bible very seriously.
Jesus was a prick. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds.
Even if he was gay,
Even if he was gay, he was still a prick.
assuming that he existed as a single person
Exactly.
Yes.
and wasn't a legend or collection of people or whatever. I don't know. I think the scholarship on that is pretty good. Anyway, we are a little bit over time, so I don't know if anyone had
Anything to add?
thing before we go to our outro from Dennis.
I had fun with you all.
Cool.
I did too.
Me,
You.
3.
This was
Let's
great.
do it again.
Yay, starting right now. All right, welcome to the next episode.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
I'm
All
sure our
right.
producers probably are in the back going, no.
Yeah, they've probably switched off at this point.
Well, I will take us out. That wasn't our show, and we hope you hated it. We'll never have another episode in 2 weeks on the 1st of August. We despise you, blah, blah, blah. Sigh.